All bad.
Bad.
You do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame, and then you get free.
This is episode number 40 of Just Chirpin'. The fellows are at full strength, and we got a banger of an epi for you tonight.
This episode is brought to you by Panarin's Hockey World, the play store for the hockey player. We hope you guys will check them out.
What's up, boys?
What's going on, everybody?
Yo, yo, yo.
So back in the saddle, we're not shorthanded. It feels good, I'm not going to lie.
Jay's back with us. We're
You
at
didn't
full
have
strength.
alternate plans tonight?
Listen, that
You
one's
were
not,
Hey, he
hang out
was
with your
sick,
cousin.
but then he
super
felt
fair.
better, okay?
No,
Oh,
dude.
better enough to go out and hang out with
Why
his
would he
cousin?
want to hang out with
First
us?
off.
His cousin lives in San Antonio.
Texas. It's your cousin, too. Second off,
Yeah, man.
That's true.
Isn't that kind of crappy that the two of you hung out and
no.
didn't invite
So
I didn't
we
get invited?
were- So
Fuck.
we were supposed
I
to
missed
go.
it.
I
I missed
also
it.
pretty much lived with Clint for 4 years, so a little bit more than just cousins. But
Yeah, it's a big fucking deal, Chris.
You
You
guys
find a little
bunkers?
bit more than cousins, please.
we, just like we live
Okay,
together.
so
We-
they made out once. What's the big deal?
but it's a really funny story. We'll get into that later.
No,
maybe.
God, no.
Those
I
two
hope
girls
not.
at the party made out after they did, so it was fine.
I don't know if I can handle all of that.
Not a funny story about making out, but a funny story. But nonetheless, I was not feeling very well at all. The plans was to hang out with him and come here, but I knew after hanging out with him, I wasn't going to have the energy to come here and mess around. So I paid for it because on Friday, I puked my guts out all day. And I think it was because I went out and hung out and had some drinks.
On a Wednesday night, and then you had Thursday.
Dude, Thursday was a shit
The
show
Wednesday
for me.
before
I laid
Thanksgiving.
around
Oh,
all day
yeah.
Thursday.
Forgot about Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
anyways.
We all got after it that
Beat
night.
me up if you will. It sounds like you guys had a way better time. You went to the Moose Lodge afterwards.
Oh, that's right.
I've
That's
never
right.
I've never yet to even been able to drink beers there with you guys because all we ever do is play golf.
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 Jesus, people, this is golf.
But I heard you guys had a lot of fun there.
That was
so
a blast. Can't
Yeah.
wait to go back, never.
Yeah, well, you can always go back. Just because you had a bad experience with
mean-
a patron doesn't mean that you have to, not go back with us.
I don't blame Brent for getting a little upset. We got up there probably, around 9:30, and their kitchen was closed.
Well,
So
Their kitchen
know,
is
Yeah.
a stove.
Maybe I
on the
was
bar.
hangry.
he was very hangry.
But
He
we-
just sat there, and, I took care of him.
Oh yeah,
Did the friend thing
You
here.
did. No, I
decided
appreciate
to
it.
order
I got to Venmo you, by the way.
yeah. You
a medium pizza.
you saddled
for-
up for a medium pizza that you
some
wanted to share
breadsticks.
with like 8 guys. So I go around and
Well-
order a large after that, and nobody eats any of my fucking pizza.
At the time, there was only 6 guys there when I ordered.
Yeah.
Well, John's gonna creep his way in there, and that motherfucker had 2 slices to my 1. I'm pissed.
Well, actually, it was more like 3 or 4 because
wish
he
you-
somehow picked out the biggest slices in the pizza box.
Motherfucker better not get in my face.
I will drop that motherfucker.
He seemed like a nice guy. He's a farm guy, man. Don't pick on him.
Yeah, he's a little special.
Of Mice of Men special?
No,
or-
just he's not all there.
You never.
He's a good guy.
Call it
man.
autism, maybe, or
You know, I don't care what you guys say.
something.
He was a
Something
good cat. He was
is
good
a little
cat.
off. He's a nice guy. Would I trust him with my kid alone? No.
When I just thought of this when you said like Mice of Men special. Have you guys seen Tropic Thunder?
No.
No, I did not.
Ben Stiller?
I did not watch Tropic Thunder.
No.
That's one funny
Oh,
movie I
sorry.
did not watch.
Okay, first of all, if you haven't, you should.
But it has all of the
It's got all
funny,
the funny
characters
people
in it. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and he plays a black guy, but he's like a black, like he's playing like it's known that he's playing a black because it's
Yeah.
about movie actors, right?
Yeah.
So it's a spoof kind of because you guys seen the Zoolanders and stuff.
Yeah,
how like
yeah.
it's a little extra. So this movie is kind of like a little extra.
Mhm.
It's a spoof on movie actors making movies.
Yeah.
But there's a part where one of the actors plays a mentally challenged person, and he went like full on. Like, so there's a point in there where he's like, you went Robbie Downer Jr.
Careful.
Robert Downey
You never
Jr.
go full R word.
You never go full, and I say this word
Right.
lightly, but you never go full retard is what he says in the movie. Now,
Right.
I think this movie was probably made before that was a big thing. But he's like,
Oh, yeah,
you never go.
especially-
So he's like, well, yeah, especially now. But
Well, now, but him being like portray a white guy portraying a black character.
yeah, well, he talks like this. You never go full retard. That's Robert Downey Jr. Because he got like in the movie he did like a skin transplant and a hair transplant, and he's he's known to get into his character.
Yeah,
So,
he's a method actor. He definitely did the reverse Michael Jackson, but for a movie role.
yeah. So it was pretty.
Is that too much?
It was pretty funny, and so it just made me think.
I never like looked at it and was like, man, I gotta watch that.
Oh, it's
movie.
hilarious.
Is it?
It is super hilarious.
Okay,
You
I
will
might
love it.
have to check
I
it
saw
out.
the movie cover when I was younger. I was like, that looks stupid.
It's stupid funny.
I grew up on Spaceballs. I can probably get through this.
Oh, yeah, you can-
Spaceballs is a legend of a movie.
Yeah.
If you like Spaceballs, this will be fun.
Although I did watch Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood the other day.
I'm gonna
That's
get
a
you
good
suck
one.
up.
I know, it still holds in.
Should I wear my 9 with these or these? My Uzi with my low tops?
Or my Tech 9 with my high tops.
just wear these then.
Pulls out the bunny slippers. Let's get into the what's what for
Yes.
fuck's sake, boys. That's fun.
I think, guys, I'm gonna need to get with John and get a bike recommendation to be able to transport myself around. Right
So
now.
last week we were talking about how you killed your Highlander, your Toyota Highlander, right?
I think I killed it.
And
It
you.
still starts, but
When
you
was
know.
the last time you drove it down the road?
Thanksgiving?
You
So-
how far did you go to the liquor store and back, or
Maybe around the block a couple times
just to
after
see
going
if
to
it
the
would
liquor
roll?
store.
Okay, gotcha. Now, okay, so you don't have wheels, so a little pulling back the curtain for the group or for the listeners. We sent out a message today as we're like making arrangements. What time is everybody coming? This and that. Okay, cool, great. Hey, somebody might need to pick Chris up on their way through, and a quick response from Chris was, my mom's dropping me off.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're having a sleepover.
I did bring my sleeping bag, so if I can,
Well, it was
No,
funny
I'm
when
just
he said
kidding
I
on
was
that.
running late. I'm like, no, your mom is running late.
No, it was actually me at dinner. So I had to plan this out. Yeah. Went out yesterday to look at a car. It was over Highland outside of Pontiac. It was another Highlander. Again, no irony lost on going to Highland to find a Highlander.
Right. We got
Right,
that.
I
Yeah,
caught
that's
that.
good.
I was confused.
Yeah. So I was
Best
excited.
movie ever.
120,000 miles less than my current car, same year, everything. So I'm like, great, I'm going to have at least 5 more years out of this car. Super stoked, ready to go. Took the afternoon off from work.
Was it clean? I mean, was it like fairly rust free?
So I'm on my way there, and my mom's like, did you call to check and make sure that, the car's available? I'm like, well, I looked online and stuff, it's there. I'm like, I didn't want to tip my hand to the dealer.
When you said that, I had no
that I'm
idea you
coming
were
over.
on your way already.
Yeah, I didn't want to tip my hand to the dealer. It's a lower priced used car, so there's not a lot of wiggle room, but I want to try to get what I can out
What's
of
the
it.
number? What were they selling it for?
6,558 or some weird thing like
Okay,
that.
so $7 grand. Once you're out the door,
6,600.
We don't need to split hairs about this.
If you don't let me continue on with this, I'll
Well,
get through it pretty quick.
Were you going to tell us what the car cost?
He just did.
Yeah.
I know, but you weren't.
So I was on my way.
He
and
wasn't gonna
about,
get to that.
Narcolepsy. He just took a nap. He just said 6,600.
so about halfway to Lansing,
In 50 cents.
my mom was like, hey, no call. I'm like, Mom, even if it's not there, we'll still have a good afternoon, spend 3 hours together and stuff. I'm like, don't you want to spend this time with me? And she goes, no, not in the car. She goes, call him up. So I get a sales guy on the call or on the phone. He's like, hold on. Calls me back like 10 minutes later. He goes, I can't let you drive that car. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, we're scrapping it. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, our service department took a look at it and it's like completely rusted out underneath. Thanks for stealing my punchline.
Right. Yep.
I was talking about the body.
Yeah.
Did the body look clean though before
that.
you went and looked at it?
Right, on the pictures and stuff. but
That's what
they
I
don't
was
really,
asking.
have an undercarriage
So you
picture on
literally
there.
got,
No,
you
I was-
literally got there.
You know what I'm getting at,
And
right?
they're just like,
Like, did it look like a clean car?
sorry, man. We're
No,
not
I didn't
your-
get there. I was only 30
Halfway to
minutes
Lansing.
into Lansing.
halfway.
So,
Okay. So did
turned around and stuff.
You
You
just
still
turned
should have
around.
bought it and took the body and put it on the
They
frame of your
wouldn't
car
have
and swapped everything over.
sold it to me. He goes, we're literally selling it to our scrap guy. He's like, we won't let you out and stuff to test drive it or
Then why
anything.
did they put it on the site?
That's what I mentioned. He goes, I'll have him take it down.
Oh,
So,
great. Good to know.
but
Huh.
so I was a little bummed yesterday about that. So back to square one.
That's all right.
So yeah,
Is there
right
new
now,
prospect cars out there though?
Again, in my price range, it's a little challenging. So
Yeah, no,
we'll
it's all
see
right.
what's
I
out
feel
there.
that. I
You
feel
know,
that.
The car market is actually really high right now for all
Yeah.
vehicles.
so I'm, been digging the last 5, 7, 8 years not having a car payment. Should have been smart, put $200 a month away and stuff so that, when the time finally came, I would have been ready to go, but I wasn't. So
It is
we'll see
it
what I
is.
can find.
You live
Luckily, I
life-
don't really have to go anywhere, especially for work. So, whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Those nowadays, it's like, hey, you know what? Cars broke down. Oh, good. I work from home. I've got
Yeah.
all the time in the world. I don't have to, beg for a ride or do any of this stuff. I can still work, get my things done, and shop and.
Take an Uber, head on home from here and stuff. So,
Huh.
unless that ride's still standing, I don't know now. You might be a little upset with me.
I'm not upset with you at all. I'll give you a lift home.
This-
Unless you prefer to call your mommy.
No, she likes to watch the news and all that and then go to bed.
Well, I do too. So we got to get you home before 11.
Dude, you haven't watched the news ever. Every time we get together, you watch hockey and then we leave and actually we get kicked out and then and then
It's on TiVo. He watches it after.
and then we hear you fall asleep in that chair.
Yeah, but usually I fall asleep while I'm watching the news.
Fair enough. I'll give it.
They start
I'm not
talking-
here to dispute.
They start talking about
Can't see it.
basketball and I'm out, guys.
Oh, it's easy sleepy.
What do you got, Brent?
Me, I don't know. I had a nice little Wednesday hanging out with you guys, and then
We did have a good night.
It wasn't. Overall, it was a good night. It just somebody churned me sour a little bit. I guess I am from a different generation. It actually bothered me for a few days. So I guess I'll give him that.
Touche.
he won.
Yeah. And
No,
here we,
and for the record, he was messaging me, making sure that he didn't jeopardize our relationship over
well,
it.
you know what? That's
so
funny.
I think it's even.
That's funny that you bring that up because like I sat there and my generation is like, you know what? If I'm invited out with a bunch of friends, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure their guest feels welcome. And he didn't do that. So that would question how good of friends I should be to that motherfucker.
Right, but
That's the way I'm gonna be.
we can still be good friends.
Yeah, we'll think about that still. And the
He
thi-
just saw who you surround yourself with.
yes,
That
and that's
has-
what I'm getting at.
That's
You-
only by
it's who-
circumstances, not my opinion. or,
and so then I sit there.
He's stuck in between a rock and a hard
Yeah.
spot. Look at him.
And
like, do you think I really want to be his friend when, like,
you're not
I
going to
had
be
no
when
other
you say the next
choice.
thing you're going to say.
I had
Brent,
no
I'm
other
in-
choice. His wife's friends with my wife. I'm
know
stuck
what?
with
You know
him.
what? That's funny that you bring that up too, because you said he had a wife, and I never noticed a wedding ring when he talked to a Chevrolet all night.
Burn.
It's just the type of character he is. He's definitely somebody that I'm not looking to hang out with. I went out there. It was cordial. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for dinner and all that kind of
We're
stuff.
so glad that you came with us and checked out our
I did-
fancy country club.
It's just unfortunate that somebody wants to he saw like Deadpool 2 too many times and thought he could pull off the same kind of jokes. It just doesn't carry with the same type of people, and I just don't respect people like that. Never will. And so with that, you know what, Danny boy, it was nice meeting you. And that's about all I got for you. You know what? You know what? I was a stray in your yard. You be a stray in mine, and the story is a different one when it ends.
Ouch. Shots fired, boy.
Yeah, it is shots fired. I don't respect people like that at all. So I'm done. Other than that, Thanksgiving was great. Had a great weekend. Friday night we did.
Yeah, did you get your ham?
I did not get ham. No, that was.
I
a
beg your
disappointment.
pardon?
Yeah, you're right. I had a shitty weekend.
They didn't. The whole thing last week was Brent's ham.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I didn't
No.
get ham either.
No.
Cheers only had turkey.
Yep, turkey.
You guys should have came over to.
I had a
John's
no
house.
thank you helping, because that's just what I do. It's just like, yeah, you're grateful that somebody cooked for you, so you have a no thank you.
So
helping.
you didn't grab a slice of turkey and just push it around on your plate a little bit, or
No, I
anything like
actually
that?
eat it. In the,
That's what a no thank you helping
Yeah.
is.
Oh, is that right?
yeah, even though you don't like it, you still eat it and you say thank you and you're gracious for it.
Oh, I literally thought a no thank you was no thank you. I don't want any of that.
No, inside you're saying no thank you, and then you smile and nod and say,
So it's
Oh,
a no
no,
thank
screw
you
that.
helping, right?
Oh
Yeah.
no,
'Cause
my
you
no.
helped yourself, but not thankfully.
No, I'd say you're offering me a helping. no, thank you.
No, you eat,
Yeah, no, I'm not taking
you
any
eat
of
all
it.
that
No,
stuff
that's not gonna happen.
You just smother it in gravy.
and get through it.
If you don't like it, that's not even gonna help.
Yeah, I
Enough
did it.
gravy will help turkey.
Yeah, a lot of gravy.
And then you stick it in the mashed potatoes as well.
No, screw that. You don't. You eat turkey just the way it is, and it's the best.
Stephan
just
can't
the way it
mix
is.
anything. His plate is
No.
actually divided into like 4 sections so that none of the food touches.
I'll have you know that my plate is not divided. It's one big plate. I take a big helping of turkey. I eat that first, and then I slap on some mashed potatoes, a whole plate worth. I
You
eat
eat in
that.
steps?
He
And
doesn't.
then I
he
take
can't
my
mix
green
his
beans
food.
and I put my green beans down.
I
and I
have
eat those.
never noticed
He
about
can't
this.
mix his food.
He doesn't mix anything.
I prefer
It's the
not
weirdest
to
thing.
because when I'm
Really?
eating something, I want to enjoy the whole thing all the way through. So I'll eat my cheeseburger, and then I'll eat my fries,
And then you'll eat your second helping of fries. And then
and
you'll
then whatever's
eat
left.
your
Yeah,
cheese curds.
Really? So you eat in stages, like you're boom. I
I'm
love
stage.
It.
I'm
And
like
then you go
I'm
back
in
up,
this,
and then you
like,
come back home.
Oh,
and then
I'm
you go
getting
back
green
up,
beans.
and then you come back home.
Yes, yes.
So weird.
Do it. Throw
So
it.
he can-
throw it all on. It's
he-
all
he-
stacked on
Yeah,
itself.
I don't want it all piled together, especially when you're mixing like salty and sweet. There's no way. I'm not a cranberry on the turkey guy.
I'm not a cranberry or turkey guy, so hey.
That was an example.
I do like cranberries in my stuffing.
Cool.
I don't really care for stuffing or cranberries,
Stephan, you use chicken fingers, bud.
dude.
Chicken fingers and French fries.
My favorite foods, I'll have you know, are green beans and broccoli.
I do love green beans and broccoli. We eat that almost every week.
Green
every
beans
night.
and broccoli are my favorite, hands
Gotta
down.
have cheese on it.
On the
Not on
broccoli?
the not on the green beans,
Yeah, on
but
the
No,
broccoli.
but on the broccoli, yeah.
If you put a full McDonald's meal in front of me and there was either green beans or broccoli next to it, going for the green beans or broccoli all day long.
I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie, I'm hammering on that Big Mac that you just
Fuck
said there.
that Big Mac, man. I am eating the greens. I love it. I'll eat a raw green bean. You just fire it on over.
Sugar snap peas and all that. I do like my greens.
I don't like
do.
sugar snap
Oh, yeah.
peas, but
I'm a huge veggie guy.
Other than that,
huge veggie guy.
Friday night celebrated Kim Purrs' birthday with the boys down at Mill Creek,
happy birthday in heaven, Kim.
or not Mill Creek, whatever it is.
You were at Walker Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Thank you very much, Walker Roadhouse. So it was a nice
Not a
night.
sponsor yet.
Got to hang out and do that, and then Saturday we hung out, had a good night there.
Oh yeah, we gotta. Yeah, keep going. I'm sorry. I'll get
Absolutely.
into that on my
doing,
what's what.
doing the alumni hockey game. It was great. Phoenix actually had a really good time. He's just like, man, your friends are like so different than mine. I'm like, yeah, they're
'cause
called alcoholics.
We're a lot older. Well, I was gonna go with the generational gap, but that'll work too.
Yeah, no, he
He had a great time as he was
did.
sleeping in the booth waiting for us to close up.
he's very interesting, and this is not trying to hurt anybody's feelings when I say this, but he is what we know is on the spectrum, and he will, if he doesn't want to do it, magically he gets tired, and he needs to take a nap. But like you throw a video game in front of him, he's up till 5 a.m. You get to learn the routine and stuff, and he actually had a good time. So I appreciate it. I let him do his thing, and you guys talked to him, made him feel welcome, and for somebody like that, that's important for him.
He was fun to have around.
Yeah.
There was a few kids that were running around the group, and it was awesome.
It was, I think, for one aspect, I know this what's we're kind of running a little long, but he actually got to see me going in and out of the locker rooms and talking to people and interacting, and he's just like, this is what you do. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, you just seem so happy, and I go, well, Phoenix, if you work on your choices and your timing and stuff like that, you can come to Silver Puck, you can be a part of this stuff. But sometimes when you have a meltdown, he's gonna have a meltdown, and when you're running a business, you
don't want
sometimes
a Phoenix and a Brent meltdown going on at the same
No.
time because that's like
No.
Armageddon.
I feel you. Beth has seen that happen, and she's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to
I
do.
don't know what to do.
But other
Both
than
of you go to your corners.
Great weekend, and Puck's on your side of the ice there.
All right, I'll clear the zone.
Yeah, do it.
So, Brent alluded to the alumni hockey weekend for the Wildcat hockey group, Northview, Sparta, and Comstock Park. Not in that order. We had a great turnout, which was looking light on Monday, the Monday before
Dude, they
the
pulled
Saturday
through.
that was going on, but we were able to rally the troops. And I think we got a good push going into next year with the fact that we weren't able to do it last year. So we were gapped in a consecutive alumni showing.
Yeah.
A lot of young guys, a lot of young talent. It was very fast hockey. and it was a 2-goal differential, and one of those goals was an open netter. So real
I gotta
tight
say,
game.
with everybody that I saw there and talked to, holy smokes, what a great group of, like you said, kids. Nothing but respect, saying thank you, appreciate it, man. Looking forward to doing this next year. I'd love to see them do it. I'd like to see the old crew come back and really make an event out of this.
Yeah. So we talked about it. We're going to push it a little harder, a little earlier next year, and try to rally up the troops a little faster and potentially push this into a 2-game night.
This was bouncing back off a COVID year, so you know what? We filled the show. Seeing the parents out there and all that stuff, it was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, kids out there skating and
Oh, heck yeah. And a big thank you to Brent and Silver Puck Challenge for jumping in with me on
not a
coordinating all
sponsor
this.
yet.
That's my line. And a special thank you to Dan and Dan, who called the game for us as referees. And a big thank you to Michelle for doing the PA and bringing the music and putting the whole event like on a pedestal for
It was cool.
the fans. It's the one night a year, you know, when you play men's league and all that stuff, the wives, moms, dads, grandmas, and grandpas aren't coming out to watch you play hockey at 10 o'clock at night. We got a primetime game time, and my whole family comes. My in-laws come, and it's the one time a year that I actually have that lady sitting in the stands watching me play, the one that we always make fun of the guys for having, you know,
Yeah,
the
your
young kids
wife.
that come out. Yeah. Well, no, the girlfriends for them.
The girlfriends
yeah.
and wives,
Yeah, the
yeah.
puck bunnies. So it's fun. And then we do that open skate beforehand, so you can skate with your kids a little bit. Your nephews, nieces, whatever, a couple of varsity players come out and all that stuff. So
It's cool. It's good for community stuff. It really is. It helps the program. It helps, you know, getting everybody involved, and that is really what it's about. You know, it doesn't exclude anybody, and I love it.
I appreciate
it's
it.
a good weekend, man.
We appreciate all the extra help. It was nice to see some of those young guys at the restaurant afterwards celebrating, talking about, as us older guys were talking about our glory days. They had just gotten out of their glory days, so they're a little bit fresh in their mind. Their stories aren't as far-fetched. But in other news, I know that this what's going on and on and on, but you know what? Screw it. It's our show. We do what we want, right?
Fair enough.
One thing I got to share with you guys, I'm leaving work on Monday.
Stephan is officially retiring, everybody. Just wanted to break the news here first.
Really wanted to when this happened. I pull out of this development, and in your own old stomping grounds. I'm headed north on East Paris, just south of 102nd.
Yeah.
And I get a notification on my dashboard. Service charging system soon. I'm like, well, it's a 2011 work van. I'm like, all right, great. And I watch my voltmeter start going down. And I get up to the intersection of 100th Street in East Paris. I stop. The guy waves me through. I give it some gas. I hardly have any power, but she gets going. I make it to Kalamazoo and 100th Street, and I hit that 4-way stop, and she's done. All the lights on the dash are on, and I don't have a speedometer anymore. I don't know how many miles I have on the dash, and I'm completely dead. So I pull over, and they have a wide swooping, so I'm off to the side of the road.
Right where you're at.
I'm like, shoot. And it's cold. Monday was a very cold day.
It's winter.
Alternator's gone, right? I mean, that's the first thing
So
that
I
comes to
nailed
my
it.
mind. Yep. So I got a bad alternator. I'm like, oh, shit.
Did you get the hammer out?
What do I do? Well, you can tap a starter, but you can't tap an alternator.
Checks out.
So I know it's the alternator. I'm like, all right, crap. So I called my father-in-law. He's retired. I'm like, you know, maybe you can go grab me an alternator, bring it down, and by the time you get here, I can have the intake out.
Well,
the
hell, you got the
reservoir
tools right there.
I thankfully it was my work van, you know, but I'm using an itty bitty little toolkit. The ratchet is this long.
Right.
I was able
Genetics.
to pull everything out, and when you're working with a van, so you've got this
Very
much hood
compact.
space, super compact. Guess where the alternator is?
Back underneath.
Underneath the fucking dashboard.
Yeah.
So
Your ass, you'd know it.
father-in-law doesn't answer the phone. I called Danelle. I go, after you pick Kason up, I might need you to come down here. So I'm stuck on the side of the road at 3:00. I'm on my way to Jennison to do a night project. And then she's got to pick Case up at 3:15. I'm like, well, I'm freezing already. I have no heat. I can't start the van. So I call my dad. He lives at 36 in Byron Center. He comes over. I damn near have the alternator out by the time he gets there, right? Well, now here's the big game plan is trying to find an alternator. So apparently this van has the Bosch version alternator that is special order everywhere we call. So I jump in my dad's ride, and he's driving. He's old school. He's like you. He just drives. He doesn't know a cell phone. He doesn't own a cell phone. He just goes by the map, right?
You want to know why? Because we get shit done. We can smell where we got to
Oh,
go.
he's smelling it, and he's going. And as I'm calling, he won't even pull over and let me check, like, to call someone. He's just driving.
Shut that phone down. I got this.
Yep. So finally we get it, and sure enough, I get it back in.
Sniffed it right out, didn't he?
We found it. We found it at a Napa place. I was actually on the phone with the people as we pulled in. I go, we found a Napa. I'm going to stop here first, but if not, we'll come up by you. This was closer to M6. So anyway, get the alternator, go back, and sure shit, here comes the downpour of snow. Wet, cold snow dripping right down my ass crack as I'm leaning over this van, putting the damn thing in. But it was the alternator, and I was able to get home. So long story, even longer. There you go, boys.
Yeah. I knew it was an alternator. I'm not a mechanic, but I did stay at a. They're not a sponsor yet.
Not a sponsor yet. Yep. So that's how that went.
So what do we got going on next, boys?
Well, let's Jay. What do you want to talk about? What did you do?
He wasn't here last week. He doesn't have a right to say anything.
We've got a lot to catch up on, and I'm sorry we kind of took all of the wind
I
out of
think
the show.
he took a nap over there. He's good. He's rested.
It's all right. We'll skip hockey talk today.
Yeah.
To make up for the time we've taken here.
I would, good, very, very humbling New Year, Thanksgiving. It was just normally I spend it with like a lot of family, and this time it was just my family, which was awesome. But it really just kind of made me miss my family and stuff. So COVID.
Yeah, because you had your wife was out of town, your mom was out of town,
Yeah.
Bob and
So
your sister were out of town.
yeah, my mom was out of town. My wife is actually home. She didn't leave until Friday morning. So I did have my entire
Oh, okay. I
my
thought she left
direct
earlier.
family.
Okay.
Yeah, and my kids and stuff. But normally, like I said, we're always with either my parents or my brother-in-law and sister and stuff. And everyone's just, so it was my first year in the last few years not going hunting on Thanksgiving morning with my brother-in-law and not being with them for the whole day. And so it was just a little humbling. I wasn't under the best of what's the word, health. I was just feeling kind of
You had a little
tired and
Bob withdrawal.
a little sick. Yeah, and a little sad.
Emotional.
But it worked out. And then other than that, not a lot, boys. Today, so for the listeners and anyone who's got a kid, between the ages of 10 and 14, was running a camp over at the Georgetown.
Yeah, how'd that work
Wednesdays.
out? You told me about that yesterday.
So Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:20, me and Skylar Elderman, I think that's how you say his last name.
Great cat. Great
awesome
cat.
guy.
Love
Honestly.
that guy.
I don't have nothing but great remarks to give to him. Today was awesome working with him. But I was trying to put together a camp and stuff. I'm trying to figure out a way to get my kids on the ice and help the kids on our team and stuff, and whoever else, anybody that was willing to come.
Just a little skills training or
Yeah.
like a conditioning. What kind of
So
what kind of practice did you run for
I'm-
these guys?
I'm running it. The way I put it is a power skating that's focused on edge control with game situational shooting and puck handling.
Perfect.
So that's what we did. So the first half hour we worked on specific edge control stuff.
That is a lot of buzzwords.
Yeah. But a lot of
But
If
no,
my PO would let me be around kids, I'd be out there to skate with you.
you're not allowed near a Chuck E. Cheese. Shut the fuck up.
But it was nice. I got to do a lot of the drills that I think, every time I go to a practice, somebody else comes up with all this stuff. I'm just there to help
You're
out.
conducting a drill
Yep.
that has already been set
I had the
for.
full ice, so I was doing things for game situational drills that were in the areas of the game situation. A lot of times we do game situational stuff for drills, but we're in a small box trying to replicate it.
Yeah, you're in the neutral zone and you can't really work out a corner
Right.
pickup out of the neutral zone.
And they do well with making sure that certain drills are done in certain areas for that reason. But yes, it's just this way it's actually set up. So it was great. It was our first practice today. I had a very small turnout. I didn't get what I was hoping for. So the skate ended up costing me $150 after getting Skylar squared away and paying the rink. But I
Okay.
think that's okay. I had some really great remarks posted up on Team Snap and about
You can
how
only
it went.
grow from there too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like any business, you take a loss
in the
going up,
beginning.
and then you can start profiting from there.
That's how it works. So, but I got, honestly, with Skylar, man, like he was great. He knew what he was doing. That was super awesome. I was like, hey, man, you go down and run this. I'll pick up all the cones. Like, I didn't have to be the leader. Like, it was really nice. He knows what he's talking about. He's a great hockey player.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's coaching for Grand Valley's D3 team as
Not
an
a
assistant.
sponsor yet.
Yep. But great guy, great practice. So I was super excited about that. That happened today. Other than that, not much, guys. That's what I've been like grinding out, the podcast and figuring all this stuff out. That's been the last couple weeks.
I think that's great. We'll get Jay's skating clinic on for an advertisement.
Yeah, he hasn't paid the sponsorship fee yet, so
We might need
Not
to
with
bring
money,
Chris
but
on.
with a lot of sweat, man. I have to edit your guys' podcast you did by yourselves
Nope.
last week.
nope.
Mm.
Sweat
Well,
doesn't.
well, that was
Sweat doesn't
Stephan
keep a
running the
roof
board.
over my head.
That's right. Yep. There was a couple of flaws in that epi. My bad.
No, I fixed them all. I couldn't
Actually,
even
that's
tell.
that's a good point to bring up. The podcast was a little sketchy for the maybe 8 people that listened to
Oh, it was
it.
11.
11.
Yep.
So we had 11 listeners listen to it, and when I listened to it, obviously we talked. So I mentioned that, hey, Brent's audio fell out for some
I
reason,
felt like that was by design, though.
but
was.
Jay was able to fix it and clean it up.
No,
so
it did. It sounded
i-
good.
if you feel like you missed some of it, maybe go back and listen to it or rewatch the video on YouTube, and it might be a little bit better than
Well,
it
you
was the
could-
first time around.
It is. It's totally cleaned up. But you could hear Brent if you were really listening. So,
yeah.
but again, folks, if you guys hear it, luckily for us, the day after it gets posted, Stephan listens at work. So he goes through it, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. So if you guys hear something, throw us a message. Just let us know, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything. Just the website.
Anywhere,
Seriously.
reach out to
Yeah.
us
Just tell
personally
us.
if you're friends with us.
And
got
if
our
you
numbers.
do, we got a gift for you.
Yeah, and speaking of which, nobody did reach out for the free skate sharpening. The first person to text me about the podcast. So,
But didn't Dewey do that again last week? He did send you
he
a
didn't.
text.
Well, that was before I
He's
announced
teasing
it. That
you.
doesn't count. So you still got to get him his, but I'm claiming that one. So
Well,
you snooze, you
why
lose, guys.
you?
I don't know how that works, but all right then.
I do what I want.
Fair enough on that. Speaking of skate sharpening and detailing, I hope you guys will go ahead and check out True Edge Skate Sharpening and Detailing. Let them know Just Chirpin sent you.
Well, let's jump into this news. We got a pretty news-heavy segment written up here. So
We got a few. We got a fun one here quick.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah, kind of. Depends where you get your news from. But we'll get into that one a little later with Miss Maxwell. First, though, something that I thought was kind of interesting was from bottom half of the Wall Street Journal from yesterday. They had an article in there about something that I'm sure we've all seen around, but the localized Monopoly games, where they come into your town, they do it, they build it out, and then they sell it for charity or whatever. So this article was going through about a town in Worcester, Massachusetts, second largest town, just like GR here, about just the different people that were in there, that weren't in there. And then apparently the backroom deals that
To
some
get
of the
their name on
yes. So they say that it's fan choice or, fan submitted and stuff. So you can go ahead and have, submit local businesses, places of interest, all of that about, what you would want for your local town's Monopoly board. But apparently, even though there were 61,000 votes that came in for this town in Massachusetts, one of the most popular taverns, Ralph's Tavern, wasn't actually included in that. So once they had the launch party with all the city dignitaries and stuff and a Mr. Monopoly Man and all of that to show this game off, the guy at Ralph's Tavern had his own Monopoly launch game where they had the Mr. Monopoly Man himself there with a black eye, and he brought in a wood chipper and was throwing Monopoly board games into it in the back because his local establishment was slighted from making the cut.
Sounds like somebody else found it, Danny, huh?
Yes, pretty much. But if he would have ponied up to get on the board, it would have been anywhere from $20,000 to $60,000 depending on what spot on the board and stuff you wanted.
Dang.
So kind of a pay-to-play thing.
Yeah, hey, whatever. It's a lot of advertisement.
True, but how many people,
what,
though,
would the money go to? I guess I think that's important to me.
they have a charity aspect to it,
Okay.
but this company goes around, it has a license from Hasbro, and they do this. So there was one that came out in Grand Rapids a couple of years ago that
I remember
Grand Valley
that.
State University, one of their business school classes put it on or whatever and designed it and sold it. But they went around and they just did local businesses versus, I don't know, when I think of Monopoly, I want, landmarks or building,
Totally
it's a
agree.
property game.
John
and
Ball
stuff.
Park Zoo,
Right.
You know,
Speaking of, so if you were to do one for Grand Rapids, what would be the top 3 attractions that you would have on your
top
GR
three,
Monopoly board?
you definitely have to go with the Calder Center down there with the Calder, the icon, the metalwork. And forgive me for maybe not knowing Monroe Center. I think
The
it's
Grand
called.
Vista is
Yes,
the actual name of the work.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It's separate from Monroe Center.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then I definitely would have John Ball Park Zoo, down there, and the Van Andel. Those would probably be my top 3.
Oh, interesting choice. Jay?
I'm totally going with Founders. Because, I mean, if I'm playing Monopoly and Founders is, everybody knows Founders in Grand Rapids has been around for a long time.
Yep.
I'm going with Frederick Meyer Garden.
All right.
That's pretty.
Outskirts, but okay.
But
Yeah.
it's a big attraction.
It's a big attraction. And
Did
then,
you want him to say the same thing that you said?
Well,
About what?
Probably.
And then I'm going Amway.
Oh.
The Grand. Amway Grand.
The hotel,
The hotel?
or
No,
Amway the
like, because
business?
it's businesses,
Amway the business?
right? So, like, I'm going.
No, I had mentioned that they did
We have to be in the
businesses.
city?
Well, Grand Rapids metro
Yeah.
area, but so
Hey,
the Grand
we're
Valley.
supporting Grand Rapids. Make sure we get Cascade in there.
Mm.
No, it doesn't work.
So
that way.
the
Oh,
Grand
no?
Valley thing,
My bad.
they did businesses. So their Park Place was Steelcase, Meyer, and Alticor, which is now back to Amway because they realized that changing their name was not the smartest. But so Amway on that. But I would have picked the hotel.
Yeah.
Over.
Oh, because there are
Amway out
hotels.
in
Yeah,
Ada.
so you could say Amway Grand.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. 'Cause I was like,
Good
yeah.
for the hotel. I guess I was just picking 3. I wasn't establishing into the 3 different areas, but yeah, that works for me. Amway's Amway. They're just a big name. Everybody knows them. Yeah, it's like you could put the DeVos Center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a
Helen
good one.
DeVos. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Children's Hospital?
Yeah,
You're
why
going to
not?
try to make money off the Children's Hospital?
You could.
Charging rent?
Well, as you said, charity.
Butterworth,
why-
baby. That's Stefan's guess. He's going Butterworth.
No, I meant when you were playing the game.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be that property landlord that's
Yep.
like, oh, you're going to jail because you can't pay for your...
You can't pay the hotel
You can't pay the
fees.
rent for the Children's Hospital. Cold, Brent, cold. Jeez.
Yeah, I was good at Monopoly.
My first couple were the Van Andel and John Ball. But is Fifth Third Ballpark too far away? Or now
It's
Lake
right
Michigan
outside the
Credit
city.
Union?
Yeah, what is it?
Lake Michigan
Lake
Credit
Michigan,
Union.
yeah.
Lake Michigan.
Hell,
and-
we just went to Cascade. Why not throw Comstock Park
Right
in?
there, right. If we're going that far, and also consider DeVos Center, the Bridgewater Building,
That's another good one.
and then Fred's Pizza, and Rosa Park Circle.
Yeah,
Rosa Park Circle
Circle's a
would
good
definitely
one.
have to be in there.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I like Rosa Park Circle.
That's my line,
I like,
by the way. That is my line. It's
not gonna lie,
trademarked.
sorry. I miss the old town center that they had there back in the day with the waterfalls and all the brick and
Yeah.
totally
Oh,
I
the
don't know,
fish
70s
ladder.
or 80s.
Speaking of that,
That's a good one. The Fish Ladder. My last one is the Boardwalk Building, downtown Grand Rapids.
yeah, never
Is that just
heard
because
of
it's got boardwalk in it?
See what I did there?
Yeah,
Jay did.
Jay got it.
It is a nice.
it. Is there a crickets button still on that thing? Nah, you don't gotta find it.
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
Don't touch it. The
which one?
crickets. No, it's on the
Oh,
I don't
first
quite
one.
know
Crickets.
the houses and stuff in the
Yeah.
I know
area,
it's one of the
but
blue
It's
ones.
this one.
No, it's the purple one. This one.
Okay.
I think the camera saw my eyes roll
Yeah.
about 5 times
Yeah,
in the
me
back
too.
of my
Why
head
don't you
there.
calm down? We're having fun here. Relax.
They aren't.
Jay said we don't have to be so serious anymore.
I
It's
would
time
kind
to get
of
on board.
would go a different route with everything, and
That checks out.
pick out houses within Heritage Hill and kind of do it around that.
There
do the
are some
neighborhood, the
cool
historical
houses.
Yes.
I
Nobody
mean,
would know what they were. You'd be like, oh, so and so Cherry Street, but.
now,
There are some
now you're
beautiful
starting to talk about this. I'm sitting there going, you know what, Yesterdog, I can see that as
Yeah,
a,
that'd be
as
a good
something down
property.
there.
Yep.
Go
It's
up and
called
down,
Yester
wealthy.
Stangies, by the way.
Is that right?
No, it is Yestrog, but I always me and my
The nickname
the
though.
Yester Stangies. This is what me and my friends.
I think
call
it's
it.
gonna. I think it's gonna be there in my
Going to
brain
Yester
from here on out.
Stangies.
Yeah.
There's just Grand Rapids really does have a lot to offer. It really
Yeah.
does.
What
Dude,
was that?
there's-
That vineyard place?
Martha's Vineyard?
Martha's Vineyard.
Vineyard.
There's Wolfgang's. I mean,
Easttown.
but that's on. Well, Martha's Vineyard's in Easttown, but
Still
Wolfgang's
closer
in
than
Easttown.
Frederick Meyer Gardens, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's out that way.
Knapp's Corner.
Yeah.
The whole corner.
Yeah, Easttown is. Yeah, there's some beautiful houses and stuff.
But that was my, choice would be some of the cool old well, those were actually mansions back then, but
Oh, yeah.
the old houses around Heritage Hill.
Today
There's
they
some
might be
beautiful
considered more of a
houses down
McMansion, though.
Well, what about the Meyer May house or whatever? Is that the Myers May?
They'd be in there. Yeah, that's in Heritage Hill.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's a sweet freaking. You guys ever done the tour through there?
No.
It's really fun. You
Yeah.
should go through the tour.
Really?
Your
been
definition of
dragged
fun is
to-
clearly different than mine.
Okay, I'm a trim carpenter and I like to see fancy woodwork. And
I used
that
to be a
place
trim
has
carpenter,
fancy
carpenter, but I
woodwork.
have a
I
steady
think
I would
relationship
disagree
now.
on that.
I
though.
think that's why I'm so into Vegas with the architecture. I could just sit there, look at the
Yeah.
buildings all
all day
freaking
long.
day
I love
long.
architecture, and that architecture done by
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright is very Frank
pickup.
Lloyd Wright with the cantilever overhangs, the low pitch ceilings, or the low pitch roofs.
Roof lines.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I am
Anyways.
not a fan of his. I've been dragged to
Oh, I
quite a
love
few of his homes over in Pennsylvania, Falling Waters, all
Yeah.
of that and stuff. And I like the tall ceilings. I'm not short like you guys. I'm not 5'6". So
Oh,
if you're in a
ouch.
7-foot tall
Ouch.
room, I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like the dark windows. They do have a lot of windows, but it doesn't let in a lot of light.
A lot of like brushed glass, stained glass stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the
Okay.
furniture too, I can appreciate it. I wouldn't mind going to spend a weekend in one of his homes, but I would not pay to live in one of those.
You can
I would not
appreciate
buy
it,
one.
but it's not your style.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you have an architecture of which you like?
Art Deco.
I do like. I'm very classical and all that, so I do definitely like the heritage homes, especially
Cathedral
if you go
ceiling, 12 pitches.
He likes a
Well,
farm
not all of that.
style.
to. I don't like farm
Yeah.
style.
Like not a farm, like a plantation home.
I like classical Georgian, I think it is, or something like that, something along that
big
line.
pillars in the front, wraparound porches.
It doesn't necessarily need to be all that.
For the
but-
listening audience out there, I'm more of an HR Geiger, and if you know what that is, you know exactly where I'm getting at.
A cave.
I'm a Frank Lloyd Wright. I'm a big fan of straight lines. I love lines. I don't like.
I'm industrial.
Yeah, I'm a big lines guy.
To be honest, I like industrial.
Well, I
style.
think his thing was like, for Frank Lloyd Wright, he I feel like it was his idea of modern back in the day. It's not what's modern today, but he was a little bit ahead of the game and doing things
Oh,
differently.
it definitely was.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but moving on.
Oh,
So I don't know if you guys have heard, because nobody else has, since it really hasn't been in the news, but a supposed business partner or acquaintance, whatever, lover of the now late Jeffrey Epstein is trial started this past week with Miss Ghislaine Maxwell has been brought up on sex trafficking charges. The trial started on Monday. I don't know exactly where it's at, if it's New York or wherever, but her trial's starting up about sex trafficking, grooming underage girls, and all of that not cool stuff.
It's
for,
like
for the elites, or was she doing this like for herself?
Both.
have you not followed any of this? I'm just asking.
I-
It's a
how
little
did-
hard to follow
so-
because it's not really out
The-
in
the
the
hell it
in the
is,
it
man.
news.
really
I
is
have
kind of a spider web.
watched-
It's like Pokemon. You got to catch them all.
So I actually, it was a
I think
couple.
they did.
You guys must have been busy during COVID. Oh, hell no. I had the Netflix and the Hulus and I had all
Man,
this shit
I was
going
busy
on.
watching Tiger King
I was-
or Tiger King.
no.
I was busy cutting fingers off. But
This is all very, very true.
so, but no, really, just the other day I was thinking, what the F ever happened with this? Like, all of a sudden, just Epstein dies and everyone drops this whole subject. So it's, to me, you're saying there's a trial. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do not know anything about this.
So after he killed himself,
Allegedly.
Supposedly. She was also, I think, trying to be picked up or whatever, and then went into hiding for a few months, maybe
They were
6
trying
months
to
or
pick
something.
her up
Yes.
on the
She
conspiracy.
was on the wanted list.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
on the wanted list for pretty much the same charges and stuff. Trafficking, underage, all that, not cool things. They finally found her, I think, like in the Hamptons or something last summer, and
She
she's
was
been
overseas,
sitting.
to be honest. She was overseas.
Oh,
and,
was she?
And they
Okay.
something happened, and I don't know if she thought it was safe to come back to maybe do a couple things, but they caught her on the return back to the Hamptons.
Interesting.
They did
Okay.
catch her here, but she was overseas, and I don't know if she was tricked to come back or whatnot. Like they located her. I don't, I'm not.
So is she a big like keystone in all of this?
Yes.
She
Okay.
is the stone of the key.
So like she's gonna be the next one that hangs herself.
Allegedly.
Because she rolling on the same people that he was gonna roll
Yeah,
on.
it would.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
same people.
I hope they
she's
have the
basically-
cameras on
okay.
in that.
You
prison.
know what? Just maybe a lot of clearly our listening audience is more educated on this than you two guys are.
Well, I know,
but
I know that Trump's behind a lot of
now
this
you're giving-
investigation.
No,
You're
stop
giving
there.
our
Let's stop
listening
there.
audience too much credit, Brent.
Yeah.
They're listening to
sto-
us.
Long story short, though, Jeffrey Epstein and always screw up her name, Ghislaine.
Miss Maxwell.
Giselle Maxwell.
Yeah, Miss Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
We're in what we'd call a relationship, but what ended up kind of happening is she was the eyes and ears and the master. You know what? I'm old. Master secretary of the whole thing. She was the one doing the bookings.
Right,
and
that's what I'm wondering.
and
She's
She was
the
going
book-
around finding the girls.
She was the
Yes.
one
The
finding
one
them.
working
She was
for
the
Epstein.
She was-
talent scout.
She,
if
no,
you
no,
will.
I
Yeah,
have
she was
it.
a-
I have it
that's a
right
talent
here,
scout.
gentlemen. She was the recruiter.
Well, that's what a
That
talent
too.
scout is. But anyways,
Okay, but that word was better than anything you guys threw out. So give me my kudos, Jay. I know you got me. Put it right here.
So that trial started this week. Kind of interesting. One of the 3 lead prosecutors for it is actually former FBI Director James Comey's daughter. I don't know, small world out there in DC or wherever.
Well,
this is
yeah, I
happening.
mean, people getting people jobs. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make a name for yourself right out of law school, might as
Right,
well
take
have
the-
your dad,
yeah, you
Take
might
the
help you
biggest
out with this
case in
one.
the world
go big.
the biggest case in the world that nobody's hearing about.
that nobody's hearing about.
Well, it's interesting they say that because I've seen a lot of people kind of pissing and moaning that why isn't this televised? Why isn't this? Why isn't that? Why and they're making a big deal about this just to educate people out there. Federal cases are never televised. Okay, you can always get the transcripts.
yeah, those are.
There's
public.
actually a phone number that you can call
yes,
in on. and listen.
absolutely. But federal cases are never televised. Okay, so it's just
So who can
Yeah.
we listen to? Do you guys have a suggestion on someone that we could listen to via another podcast?
Tucker Carlson, man. Come on. I was kidding. I don't know.
That's covering this, like where I
I'm
don't
not
have
following
to do.
it that close. It's
I'm just
I just see
interested.
random things here and there, like
X22
there's this blurb.
report.
she's going down.
They do bring stuff up there, but
She's
I wasn't
going
going to
down.
mention that.
And I'm more interested in the fallout. The fallout to me is going to be very more interesting because it's going to show the world that everybody that was maybe leaning a little more right and was criticized and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to lie, not a lot of conspiracy there now. It's actually coming to light after.
Are you talking about Jack Dorsey stepping down and all these other CEOs and CFOs
Dude,
stepping down?
The list is over 15 now. And-
Well, if you go back over the last year,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm getting at.
well over that.
I mean, this is there's a lot of things that have been a part of this, and I you know what, I used to be right down the middle, and unfortunately, maybe I kind of swayed a little bit more to the right as I was kind of watching these things because the things that were happening on the left really didn't jive with the type of person I am.
Oop.
And
Fair enough.
I sit there and I watching it, and you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but because I was kind of buying into it and watching it and doing the documentaries and listening to the radio and doing that stuff, and I was full of shit. And now, was I?
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know it's.
More to come on this one.
It's definitely something to follow.
Are
is.
you a flat earther now?
No, I am not going that far.
Definitely is.
Hey, a good topic for next week. Let's talk about this flat earth stuff because it's kind of funny.
I want you to stop
could
right
get
there.
into
I am 100% in on that because Beth because Beth comes in the room and she goes, "Why are you watching all this flat earth stuff?" I go, "Oh my gosh, these people have like seriously like lost their ever loving mind."
They drank the Kool-Aid.
You know, it's like I don't want to get into it, but like
We'll talk to
I
we'll get a
watch
topic
so
next
much
week.
flat earth shit, and it's better when you're drunk.
Fair enough.
Well, along the same lines on that, throwback to Vegas quick. We were driving through Vegas and Stephan just happened to mention that, he wanted to see one of those buildings implode upon himself.
Oh, yeah.
When
Then
we
they
were in
drop
the
a
Uber.
casino.
Yeah. And my response back to him over my shoulder was, well, you watch 9/11.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, anyways.
Conspiracy.
I wish somebody would just walk out and literally just lay a book and just start going through it, and it's 100% true. Like, you don't have to wonder. You don't have to, like, no manipulation. I want to know, like, what really happened on everything.
They're supposed to, the JFK documents were supposed to be coming out this past week.
Really?
Or, not this past week, but I think within the last few months.
Like the transcripts?
No, just all the unclassified documents. There's apparently been a huge amount
Oh, I'm sure there is.
of D-class documents that were supposed to come out that
That's a
the
big
current
one.
administration has held back on now.
Oh, yeah. That's
So-
a big one for me.
I used to love the Kennedy stuff back in the day.
Well, just like
I just love that
all those
history.
It's very, very interesting
wondering.
to hear all the different angles.
all
and what
those
people
cameras
are
that were
thinking.
there, and like we only see 2 of them ever displayed. Like, get out of here.
Back
so,
into the left.
speaking of this
Back
stuff
into the
and
left.
weirdness and awkwardness and whatever, I finally finished up Squid Game.
Yes, we can finally talk about Squid
I have
Game.
yet to finish it.
See, I was wondering.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
upstairs
you had
when we
stepped
said,
away
let's give it a
when
go.
we-
I asked if you had watched it yet. They said yes.
No,
I thought you
I know
had.
how it ends. I lost complete, absolute interest. I kind of figured it out after episode 4, and I was like, I'm done.
So you didn't watch it on
No.
choice. Okay, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I don't
okay.
give a shit.
So,
So what did you figure out on it if you only made it to episode 4?
Yeah, very interesting.
But the one person that has no reason to survive is surviving. It became kind of like a version of the movie Saw. It was
Right.
Which person are you talking
it
about?
was
the
Saw.
old man.
It's obvious.
The old man.
The old man,
The old man
001.
did it all. You know, I mean, there's no way.
by the
he
way,
survives.
spoiler alert.
I don't give a shit. Well, if you didn't figure it out by the time I did, well, then you just
you
have
haven't
to have
watched
it
it by
ruined.
now.
and
then
and
fuck
it's
you.
funny that you say that because I thought that through, but I'm also one of like the type of person I want to see how it, like, even though I have my hunch or my inkling or I know, I still want to see the rest of the show, right? And there was just so much that like twists and turns that went on with it.
So let me
that
guess.
kept me engaged.
Like I said, I stopped at episode 4. Everybody dies except for the main character. They made a big deal about everything, and then the main character confronts the old man and kind of wonders why he does all this shit. And the old man's kind of like, "Because I can." You know, it's basically
Well,
what it is. He's
the
like,
old man fake dies and then comes
Okay.
back like an episode later, and then he's like, "Oh, why did you do this?" From the main character.
Well, what
Yeah.
got me was when the old man had, like, when I kind of
Everybody
put
has
it
to die.
together is when they were playing the marbles and he said something to him about cheating him. Like, he was acting dumb the whole time and then said something about cheating him at the very end. And then they show everybody in that movie gets shown getting killed. Like, there's no cut
Right.
to the clip. They get,
except
except for him, they
for the old
they
man.
cut away
They
and
cut
didn't
the
show
clip.
him. Now I thought, okay, did you do that because no one wanted to see the old man die? But I'm like, no, you'd have done that just to make it that much
Right.
more imposing. So I thought, what's going on here? Like, why did he have to walk away before he shot him?
But with the police officer that's on the chase and it being his brother
Mm-hmm.
who's helping with that, and then
okay,
the
I
old
want to stop you right there because, like, I don't know what episode it is. Might be episode 4. You get introduced to this cop. Does he end up dying too?
no, well,
Yeah,
No.
okay,
it
he's fine.
appears as though when he gets shot and then he
Oh,
falls
yeah,
off
by
the
his
cliff
brother.
backwards, but there's the underground selling of the organs and things.
See,
There's
I
just
didn't- I didn't get
lot.
into that.
There's
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
didn't-
wild.
see
do you not know what they do in China?
There's a lot of wild things that go on, and then at the end when
They're
he's
prepping us
about
for
to
the news.
he's about to board the plane, right? So I read an article because the sequel's coming out. The next series or season rather is coming out.
Oh, is this when the main character actually takes over for the old man? Yeah, they do this in Saw.
Well, that's not the case. But anyway, he's gonna board this plane, and he calls the number, and they basically say you just go board your plane and get away from us.
Doesn't board his
So
plane. Yeah.
now they're saying that if he had boarded the plane, that the plane was gonna blow up, so he couldn't expose them. So I have a good feeling season 2 is going to be about trying to expose
Right.
this
so
whole
it's gonna
game.
be like Taken, but with him instead of Liam Neeson.
I will find you and I will kill you. I have a certain set of skills. Yes.
I am the winner of. So speaking of this, you guys, did you see that kid from YouTube? Chris, do you have your computer by chance?
No, I
I
do not, Jay.
Well, I
just
normally it's
exit
like
out of all of
Downs.
that stuff that Brent's computer's
So-
doing right now and jump on that.
I forget his name. He's like a big YouTuber or something, but he recreated Squid Game and then had all these people come and he ran through the Squid Game, recreated. Nobody got hurt, so you just got eliminated. And he had them all like with fake little blood patches, so they all when they got shot for doing something wrong.
Oh, really?
But he
Squids?
recreated the entire game with the same amount of people from beginning to end, and the winner won like $500,000.
Where did this happen?
I don't know. He's a YouTuber though.
That is impressive. That's so cool. It'd be like the whole premise.
Yeah, he
is
redid
very,
the entire thing.
As
Like,
long
it was
as-
all legit.
As long as you don't die, I think that's great because it really is murder.
Yeah,
So
right. No, nobody died. He just like
That's so
So they
cool.
did all everything. Everything they did was exactly the same. The tug of war,
like if you didn't succeed, you just have like a paintball mark.
paintball mark
Yep.
goes off, and you're yeah.
Or like a blood pack.
Yep.
And you're dead.
Yep.
Yeah, you faulted or you messed up.
So the cool one was like with marbles, like a lot of people like, because when they got time to like running down, like a few guys were like, all right, man, you just take it.
Just
And-
take my marbles. I don't care.
Yeah, so some guys had to make decisions, and then the whole like walking across the glass thing, they reacted that, except it wasn't glass. It was like like a pliable something that broke easy if you stepped on it.
And
then
you probably
fell-
landed in a
you-
beanbag or
you
something.
you fell.
You
like
fell
a
like
few
3-4 feet.
but
something.
you fell into like
foam pit.
foam pit.
Yeah, perfect. That's
So-
awesome.
But it was he recreated. It was like life size. It was crazy. I can't imagine how much that cost him.
That's so, and he was still able to pay out what 500.
500 grand. I think.
500
I
grand.
think I know what
$500,000?
YouTube TikTok guy you're talking about.
He's been
Go
around.
go back and just check that account out. This guy shells out more money. He's
Yeah, oh,
not
yeah.
old.
No, he's a young kid.
Yeah, he's like 28.
Yeah, he's a young
maybe. And he just, hey, let's do this. I'll give you $10,000 to leave right now. And the guy's like, oh shit, I'll take it. You know,
Is it one of the Paul brothers?
no, it's like, he's got a little crew. It's kind of like the nerdy version of what
He
is
is a little bit of a nerdy looking
yeah,
kid.
perfect. What is it? The Perfect Show with those guys.
I'm not following.
No, you guys got Dude Perfect.
Is it? Oh, the Dude Perfect.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
okay.
basically like a nerd version of Dude Perfect, and it's I like it. And their videos are quite entertaining.
I was thinking it'd be a little bit more like Blippy.
Blimpy.
Blippy. He's
Explain.
this gentleman about your age with glasses,
So
and he
I think
wears
it's
a
mis-
Oh no.
cap with a spinner on it,
No,
and he
he's
does goofy
definitely
shit
a
for the
millennial.
kids.
Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah, we don't want to play it now. We'll have to watch it
I didn't
after
mean
the
to-
show.
I wasn't trying to play it. I was trying to click to see.
What
the
do we got
game.
going?
We got to
on
get
next,
into
boys?
we got to get into some
I think
hockey.
it's Mr. Beast. Yeah.
We got to get into the hockey.
His name is
All right,
YouTube
what
is
do we
Mr.
got?
Beast.
You guys want to talk about some hockey?
Whatever you guys want to do.
You guys want some cookies?
Well, I think before we talk about hockey, we should probably reach out to our sponsors.
Chris already did the sponsor read early.
Oh, he did it early.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're an hour in right now, so
All right. Well, let's rush
Thought
into
I'd
some
put a-
hockey.
yeah. He did the sponsor read early. So did you guys catch the Panarin Marchand shit that went on between the benches?
So I saw the guy whip his glove.
Yeah,
at,
that was Panarin. who
behind
whipped
the
his-
behind the ref.
Yeah, behind the ref,
Yeah.
but between the benches.
Yep.
So apparently, Panarin was upset by something that Marchand had said to him and threw his glove at him. So after all of that transpired, the media had asked Marchand, "What did you say to him?" He goes, "Well, I asked him. He asked me what I had for Thanksgiving dinner, and I told him, and he didn't like it, so he threw a glove at me."
Well, when you say your wife's, never mind.
So in earlier accounts, he had said something about Panarin's home country of Russia. And remember last year when Panarin had to take some time off to go to Russia to get his family out of there because unlike most of the other Russian hockey players, he is completely against Putin. So it came out earlier this week that Marchand had yelled across the bench to Panarin and said, "Nobody in Russia likes you." That's what Marchand said. Now Panarin threw the glove, and he got a $5,000 fine. And what did he get? It was a match penalty. No, I'm sorry. It was a $5,000 fine for unsportsmanlike conduct, which is the max in the collective bargaining agreement in the NHLPA that he could take for something like that.
Really? So
you get $5,000 for throwing a glove at a guy.
So what was the who was home? Was Boston at home?
I believe Boston was home.
It's kind of like you wait to get home to talk shit, so nobody can do anything about it. I've seen that before.
Would you put that past Marchand? Like,
No.
really?
I wouldn't put that past me.
No, it's like
I'm on the ice. I don't want to piss you off. I'm liable to say anything. I'm a chirper.
I don't think
I'm not a chirper.
I
but
certainly don't
try.
think it warrants a $5,000 fine for one.
I don't think
Like,
they're-
how about a
I wouldn't
2-minute?
fine anybody.
How about a 2-minute penalty?
No one in Russia likes you. What? What'd you say?
Don't insult Mother Russia.
Don't insult Mother Russia.
He obviously is not on the Russian gas.
There's other things that warrant being fined. I guess
He ain't slewfoot anybody.
it's
I know,
a
right?
professional league, so you do have a lot of eyes on you. You have to conduct yourself in a professional manner at all times. So I get that. I understand that, and maybe if people overhear it, it was offensive. $5,000 slap on the wrist. Don't do it again,
Yeah, I mean, hell, I've seen worse happen in a basketball.
Well, he could have just pulled him off the bench and started feeding him. So
I don't think Panarin's the type to engage in fisticuffs personally,
No,
but
but in the 80s, they
would've
used to
been-
have a guy that would be that guy.
that would have been the better way to go about it. I think it's comical.
yeah, I think it was funny. I laughed when I saw it. I'm like, that's
he throws the glove
hilarious.
at him.
Do it again.
So am I the only one wondering if he got his glove back?
No, didn't they throw it back at him?
Did it?
In the video,
didn't catch
I
that.
thought he threw it, and then I thought they threw it back at
threw
him.
it
They
back
probably
at him.
have 3 sets of gloves in the locker
Well, that's why you
room.
throw it. You're like,
I know,
don't
but
care.
it would have been funnier if he threw the glove at him and then Marchand
on the
signed
ice.
it and then threw it back to him.
or signed it and threw it in the stands.
Like Ocho Cinco.
I just thought that was a funny one. And then another fine point on the happenings of the NHL in this past week. Apparently, in a scrum, Brendan Lemieux gets a 5-game suspension for biting Brady Tkachuk during. It wasn't even a fight. I mean, it was like a scrum. They're on the ice and rolling all over each other. Looked like a couple of monkeys trying to hump a football to me. What do you think?
I watched it, and the biggest thing about mutual combat, man, biting's off. Biting is off.
Unless we're on the streets, and I fear
Well,
for
that's
my
different.
life.
No, like I said mutual combat.
Oh yeah. Okay, yes. So
That's
fist fight, a boxing match, a
you and I don't like
duel.
each other. We're gonna go out front. We're gonna sort out
A
our
duel.
problems.
I like that.
You know what? I'm gonna get a black eye. You're gonna get a fat lip, and then you know what? We're gonna be angry at each other
And
for
when
a
you
while.
fall, I let you get back up.
Yeah, NHL, that's mutual combat. I'm not expecting, even in beer league, when I'm scrumming with somebody, I don't expect to be bit.
Well, you expect that when the fight falls to the ice and the refs jump in, that the fight's over with. We had our tussy, right?
If I'm getting bit, I'm probably at this age going into a locker room. I would be more than happy to go sit in jail for 24 hours. Because biting is, to me, that is some of the biggest bullshit. I can't even say it.
Yes.
New generations.
I just had that one coming.
Seriously though, if you freaking bite me on the ice, I'm probably gonna fight you off the ice.
Yeah. Because you know what? You just told me the rules are off, and now I'm going to play my game
Well, you
too.
just bit me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You bit me.
the
other
wild thing.
Hang on though. The one thing that I do question because I watched it is like if Tkachuk's over there fish hooking him or doing something to his face or if he's got his hands in his mouth, then by all means, if I'm having trouble breathing, even a mutual combat thing, I'm probably gonna
Might bite somebody's leg.
Maybe do something to get my oxygen coming in. But if you're actively like doing a Tyson on a Vander Holyfield kind of thing.
Well,
Where'd he bite him?
And in the clip,
in the hand? Twice.
It was
they
in the
said.
hand, apparently twice, allegedly twice. I watched the clip, and there's no clear bite of any sort. There's no clear hand in his mouth. Could it have perhaps been two glancing blows over the teeth that cut his hand?
Right.
And then Tkachuk is over here selling it because obvious.
They're all actors at one point.
Well, if we've all seen
Very
Ace
true.
Ventura,
Any hockey player is going to sell it.
we've all seen Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, where he's fighting the I don't know what the tribe guy. Right, he's fighting the tribe guy, and he catches the fist in his teeth, and he's like biting you.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Right.
Like, did he catch a fist? Because how do you bite somebody in a hockey fight?
I have no idea. It was a scrum, and they were tangled up, and there was two linesmen trying to work them apart, and they wouldn't stop. They're on the ice. They probably should have given up at this point.
I didn't know the Wachuchus were biters.
I think the interesting part of this whole thing is I stayed up late and I watched the in the Crease special with Barry Melrose, and Barry's like 5 games. That's ridiculous. Like he's not even appalled by this. I'm looking at it. If a dude is gonna bite you, that guy needs at least 10 games to grow the fuck up.
Right.
That's like a 3-year-old. That's just come on.
I'm just having a hard time finding the bite. I'm having a really hard time seeing the bite.
I didn't watch it that close.
And could he have not cut his hand on anything around him and then claimed that?
Well, hey, you're punching someone in the face. There's a really good chance that your hand's
You're
going to
gonna
Yeah,
hit
but if
teeth?
you've got a half moon on your hand and the ref looks at that and says, that's not from
No,
a punch.
I mean, if you're like this and you take a punch and you half moon yourself, I've done that before.
Well,
Can
granted,
you do that again for our fans at home? Yeah. They
Can you
know
put
what
the
that
whole
is.
thing in there? Now, granted, there has not been a photograph of any bite marks or anything that have been put in the media. So that's where I kind of throw a little bit of shade at it. Like, really, the Tkachuks are definitely a little more Hollywood in hockey than
They're goal scoring, they're instigating, they're fighting, they're
everywhere.
doing it all.
Right.
They are.
So, did the players actually say that this had happened?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
it
he was
just news
pointing it
reports?
out.
He's
Okay.
accusing it, but
Okay.
is it
when
being,
he got up, he pointed it out to the referee. And he
Okay.
had his hand out, and he's like, "He fucking bit me," And you didn't need to read the lips to know what he was saying.
Gotcha.
You could almost hear it actually.
Oh, I can understand.
Okay, I thought like they fell on the ground and then he got his hand and he bit him or something.
It was very, very tight and scrumming, and the cuffs of the jerseys are both black.
I guess
so
we should've
you
watched
can't
the video.
follow.
So you're saying
who's.
Lemieux could have been like biting himself?
Maybe he did.
It very well could be. I watched it
where's
repeatedly,
that
and I
music?
never did see it.
Nothing's outside of a conspiracy.
So moving on there, we've been covering the Evander Kane saga. I know this is probably a broken record thing, but so
He
he's
bite himself too.
Got himself booted.
so he's recently been sent to waivers. So it's been clear that San Jose does not want him in the lineup, and they're doing just fine without him. Now, mind you, this is like probably the best power forward in all of the NHL. If he could just get his personal life out of the way of hockey and focus on hockey, he is a plus to any lineup, right? But
He's a strong player.
he's a cancer outside and all the stuff that he brings along with him. So he gets sent down to waivers. Now, he's got a $7 million contract. They're talking about a possible 3-team deal to get him somewhere, right? Well, he clears the waivers. So now he's assigned to the AHL squad, the San Jose Barracuda. And he can't skate until December 11th. So nobody picks him up? Is anybody surprised that nobody picked him up? Like
I'm
Buffalo?
No, when you're a cancer, it doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah, it doesn't. Thank you.
Doesn't matter. I got kids at our program that are amazing players, but I would not have them on my team because I think they'd be a cancer to the team.
You know, my last year that I was coaching, this kid came to tryouts, and his kid was good. I'm not gonna bullshit you. This kid was a good soccer player. I'll go back to soccer. Good player.
You go to soccer every week.
yeah,
Why
I know.
wouldn't you?
It's because you can't go back to the Red Wings game. That
You want me
we
to
were
go back
waiting
to the
on.
Red Wings
Well,
game?
yeah, they're up right now, so it's 2-3. They just scored.
So when I'm sitting there going, this kid came out there, half-assed the run, half-assed the drill, half-assed everything. And I've already watched this kid play for 4 years. I know he's good.
He's got talent.
He's a talented kid. Tryouts got done. He came over. Thanks for trying out. You didn't make it. He looked at me. I'm the best player here. Yeah, with the worst attitude. I don't want a 50% player. I want a 100% player all the time. I don't want to hear you. I want you to do what you're told. I'm your coach. We want to go places. I don't need problems. I don't need a headache. I don't need a show off. I don't need a maverick. I need a competitor and a team.
Yeah, you end up
player.
wasting all your energy on one player. You don't get to really focus on the rest.
You know what? Releasing the best player at that moment woke everybody up.
Well, yeah.
Because then they look at you and be like, oh, shit. I'm not even that good. No, but you fit the system. You fit with the teammate. You work hard. You have ethics, integrity. There's other things to the game than being talented.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I agree with that.
That's just, like I was talking to one of the moms tonight about one of her kids that plays on my team, and
Did you get her number?
You know what?
Jay's married.
I don't know what her number is, but I'm going to say, you know what? Are you still coaching with Kelly?
Yeah, Kelly.
Yeah, I do. I love that girl.
Yeah, Kelly's
Shout out
awesome.
to her and Cody.
Yeah, Kobe. Yep.
Or Kobe. Yep.
Yep. Kobe's great.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously a phenomenal player. The kid will do very well in life in
Yes.
sports. He's an athlete.
He grew right.
He's
Height
tall,
wise, he's gotten big
he's
in
strong,
the last 2
he's
years.
smart. He sees the ice. I mean, he's just
Evan-
he's a game changing player. So it's nice to have him on the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's nice to be on his team. I guess I'd probably put it that way.
Yeah.
Evander's going to run himself out of hockey. If you can't get out of the way of yourself, then you have no business being there.
Well, if he can keep his nose clean and focus on hockey in the AHL, I think he has a fighting chance of making it back up. He's got a few things to clean up.
In a
on
couple
his
years,
personal
no one's
life.
going to pick him up this year, most likely.
No,
At this age, he'll never be back unless it's a.
Well, you know what I was just.
Well, it's weird. He's under contract. You'd think he'd lose a contract somehow with all that's going on, but
You can't do that. That's why I call it a contract.
he's-
Right.
I know, but there's in every contract you have a code of ethics.
Clause. Yeah, there's always a clause.
There's always there's clauses up there, yin yang,
Yeah.
and you got to imagine that some of this behavior is.
If that was
falling
true,
into
Dan
that.
Cleary would have lost his, and Franzen would have lost his.
Yeah, but I
and-
think a lot of that too is probably not so much the team as much as it was the league suspension, and so
Yeah.
they can't take the league can't take his contract versus the team because the contract is a team thing.
Right.
So if he didn't do anything specifically on that team that got him kicked out, then clause would probably be otherwise because it wasn't the team that told him he couldn't.
I would
I
lo-
still think there's a code of conduct for each team.
I would
though, and
love
he's
to see
definitely
him.
crossed
I'm sure
that.
there is a contract.
But how do you prove that with a guy who it was an accident, slew foot? You can't prove that, and in court that goes to court. How do you prove that? The
I-
league
We're not
doesn't-
It goes
talking
to
about
arbitration.
Slewfoot.
Or not the
with
Slew-
Kane.
yeah, sorry, not
I
the
mean, we're
Slewfoot.
talking about the extracurriculars with the gambling debt and the wife thing and
There's a lot of
lying
things.
about having a COVID vaccine when really you could
Okay, yeah,
just,
that was right. That was from the
do
you
I-
could definitely just say I'm not vaccinated.
Do I want to see him succeed? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I'm out here wishing that somebody loses their livelihood, and that's really what it comes down. You know what? He might be a little lost, and he's got other things going on, other distracting things in his life. You know what? If he goes to AHL and he turns his life around and he gets focused, you know what? I wish that guy the absolute best in his career, his hockey career. But if you can't, or if he can't figure it out, then he has no business being there. Much like people you meet at the Moose Lodge.
Well, yeah, just because you're good enough to be in the NHL doesn't mean that you deserve to be in the NHL.
Absolutely.
Poor Danny.
So,
Well, to wrap that segment up real quick, we talked earlier about who was going to get on the ice first, Kane or Jack Eichel, and it appears as though Evander's getting on the ice before Jack Eichel, albeit he's getting on AHL ice.
Yeah, it's not the same level.
I kind of took your steam on that one, but I don't know. I mean, he could have a couple of weeks down there and just be lighting it up, and they'll need him in the lineup.
I'll be honest with you, with the way that Gary Bettman runs things, I bet you're just gonna leave him there.
You just want him to bury him there.
Yeah.
I could see Bettman doing something like that because he did that shit with John Scott. Oh, you made the All-Star team? Well, we're gonna see it that you get traded out of Arizona or San Jose, and you're gonna go up here. They don't need you on the NHL squad. They're gonna send you to the A, and but we can't do that.
Can he turn his life around? Absolutely. Is he a good hockey player? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if there's powers ahead of you that don't want you to succeed, and they have more money, more clout than you, you're in a hole, son.
I hope he pulls his way out. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
We'll keep you posted.
I just want to put two on we're on hockey. I'm rooting for the Red Wings, man. I mean,
they're looking good.
They're looking good. They've been taking out some big teams. Okay, let's not say big teams. They're taking out some good teams. I think if they, me and Buddy were talking about it, if they go 50-50 from here on out, we might see them in the playoffs.
They might. They're not going to make it too much further.
You know what? He's the only one.
He's the only one who took them.
He said, "I told you."
But I'm excited. Prove me wrong, please, man. This is the best they've been in years.
Hey, I'd rather be wrong than them
fun.
not be in.
It is fun to watch him
And Bertuzzi is a fun player to watch.
What do you mean, Bertuzzi? All of them.
Well, I know that. But
I'm Lucas Raymond.
Lucas Raymond. I'm on Lucas Raymond.
Yep, I pick him every week.
I trade Larkin
for
at this
FanDuel.
point.
Larkin, yeah, I like Larkin.
I like Larkin too. He's putting some stuff together.
They're all doing good.
They're playing cohesive, and they're making Blashill look really good.
Yeah, until he gets let go when they're a competitor.
Can I give you guys an FYI on the Red Wings right now?
Yeah, by all means.
Make sure to check out the place where the Red Wings go and hit up On Your Game Pro Shop, where they go for skate detailing, tape, and all their accessories, as well as any of you beer leaguers around here in Grand Rapids, and let them know that Just Chirpin sent you.
Well done.
Damn good read. Like, follow, and subscribe right now. Do it. Go back to Epi 16 to hear the interview with Travis Sharon. It's a dandy. Thank you for pushing us through 40 episodes. We'll see you at the rink.
Welcome to the show. It's called Chirpin', yo. And chirpin's what we do. And if you play a little bit of hockey, then I'm sure you'll be chirping too.